Crafting the First Ask 101. An ask is more than just a general request for the donor to give. An ask is an offer to satisfy specific donor desires in exchange for a donation. In this class, you'll learn how to create a compelling first ask that uses the 4 key appeals to satisfy a donor's desires to give. There are 4 basic elements to a first ask. The first satisfies the desire for altruism, the donor's desire to make the world a better place. The second satisfies the donor's need to feel impactful. Your nonprofit wants to find a way to communicate that their donation, regardless of its size, will make a difference. The third element appeals to the donor's self-interest. These often include social benefits involving the needs for connectedness, self-identification, and status. In all of your asks, whether it's for a first ask, annual appeal, or capital campaign, you'll want to find ways to use each of these elements. The fourth element is especially important for new donor acquisition. It's based around the desire of the donor to have an easy decision to make about whether to respond to your ask. That's achieved by making a small ask and presenting a very low hurdle for them to participate. People really do want to make the world a better place. We see that in countless ways, from random acts of kindness to the millions of nonprofits and non-governmental organizations that exist around the world. This is altruism. Your ask should begin with an appeal to the potential donor's desire to make the world a better place. Your appeal to altruism should be about who your nonprofit serves or the causes it advances. It should not be about your organization or the big mission. That's because the potential donor isn't yet emotionally connected to your organization. But these potential first-time donors do already care about people and causes. It's important that your appeal to altruism should be about the present or the future. The past simply cannot be made better. Donors know that. Altruism is about doing good today for a better tomorrow. Donors are much more likely to give when they feel that their gift will have an impact. They want to see a cause and effect linkage between their gift and the altruistic outcome. Organizations like Make-A-Wish Foundation and Save the Children craft asks that speak to changing the life of specific children. The World Wildlife Federation builds its fundraising campaigns around saving specific types of animals from extinction. Holiday food drives and homeless shelter appeals also are crafted to provide donors with a clear cause and effect linkage. Satisfying the donor need to make an impact also has another dimension. The amount people are prepared to give needs to be more than the proverbial drop in the bucket. If the amount they're prepared to give seems insignificant compared to the amount needed to get a result, then they are unlikely to give. You need to find a way for even their small first-time donation to have an impact. For example, Charity Water, a global nonprofit with tens of millions of dollars in annual revenue, solicits donor contribution for specific clean water projects, each generally less than $10,000. Their line, "For only a small gift per month, your gift can change a life," works because it's an appeal to impact. Online tools have greatly expanded the opportunity to appeal to first-time donors' desires to make an impact. Crowdfunding campaigns that finance specific projects like repairing a nonprofit's roof, producing community art, or developing a specialized curriculum to help girls succeed in science and math can be quickly created, launched, and managed through platforms like Indiegogo or CrowdRise. Each of these projects typically has a relatively low budget, and people understand that even small donations can quickly add up to a big number. The internet has also spawned a whole new class of nonprofits. These are the nonprofit marketplaces like Kiva.org and DonorChoose.org that allow small donors to directly steer where their funds are directed. Kiva.org, for instance, connects small entrepreneurs who are living in the developing world and lack access to funding with direct funding from people around the world. DonorChoose.org connects teachers needing funding for their classrooms with donors. And these platforms promote feedback on impact from the beneficiary to the funder. With these platforms, nonprofits satisfy a donor's need to make an impact on a whole new level. Many nonprofits find that making a direct connection between the donor and the person who benefits from the funds is impractical. There may be very limited ways to package a program's good work into very discrete units, like a specific child or an individual project. There may also be issues of confidentiality and privacy that simply must be respected. But with the money multiplier, an appeal to impact can still be made. The money multiplier enables a donor to feel that any dollar given can generate more good than the worth of that dollar today. Two basic money multiplier tactics are the match and the investment. The match is a simple concept. It says that if I have $1, it will cause another donor to give. Research has shown that the match works, and it provides some insight into the best match formula. Overall, the impact on giving grows as the match level moves to meet the amount donated. A 50% match has more impact than a 25% match, and a 100% match is significantly more effective than the 50% match. But after the one-to-one match is reached, additional benefits may be small. For instance, in one study, a 200% match, or for every $1 given, 2 additional dollars were given, didn't work much better than a 1-for-1 match. And once again, online tools can help you power up the matching multiplier. Many of your first-time donors might work for companies that will match their donations. That's an important pool of funds, but accessing those funds can be cumbersome, requiring new donors to fill out paperwork, and so many never bother to tap into those funds. Using online tools can streamline this process, adding to the power of the match. The other money multiplier is about how a contribution today will keep on working and have a lasting impact. That's what investing is all about. It's the difference between giving a man a fish versus teaching him to fish for himself. Through a mix of storytelling and numbers, you can convey how a single donation will have a longer-term effect with multiple impacts for the people your nonprofit serves or the causes it advances. Again, take Charity Water as an example. In its asks, they show how every dollar invested in improved water supply and sanitation can yield between $4 to $12 for the local economy. This is the money multiplier tactic in action. It's not enough to appeal to a potential donor's altruism and desire for impact. Your ask also needs to appeal to their self-interest. They'll often want to get something for themselves from their donation. The most effective way to fulfill this desire isn't with a t-shirt or any kind of physical reward, but rather with social benefits. Social benefits fulfill our needs to connect with others, whether it's with individuals, our communities, or other communities. The 5 important types of social benefits that nonprofits can provide to donors are social connectedness, self-identification, social support, social passport, and social stature. Social connectedness is about fulfilling the desire to get together with other people in a social setting. There are millions of nonprofits servicing many causes and many needs, but there is one thing that all nonprofits have in common. They bring people together to do good things together, and in that process, they enrich the lives of each person, providing the opportunity for people to meet and build meaningful relationships. For people looking to connect, this satisfies an important need. First asks that allow people to participate or engage, like organized runs, bike rides, or other events, provide the benefit of social connectedness. Social identification is about making someone's involvement in your organization a part of their very identity. As a card-carrying member of your organization, a donor becomes part of something important and meaningful. It can be as easy as defining a first ask as a membership request and providing a membership card, or a more outward sign of identification like a wristband or a ribbon. Team identification is all about letting someone be a part of a team they already want to identify with. Kiva.org, a nonprofit that's allowed people in developing countries around the world to pull themselves up from poverty through access to small loans, uses this approach. One of their specific giving groups is the Kiva Atheists, Agnostics, Skeptics, and Free Thinkers. That's a team of over 34,000 people who have provided over $23 million of loans. Another team is the Kiva Christians, whose nearly 17,000 members have provided over $21 million in loans. On a smaller scale, the ability to join something like your organization's team in a local charity run can provide team identification. Social support involves giving them an opportunity to show support for a friend or family member. Examples of social support include walking in support of a friend with a disease or as a tribute to a family member who passed away. The social passport involves giving people entrance to places with helpful people or networks. Their donation gains them access to people or networks that can support their career objectives. Because of the power of the social passport, things like galas or golf tournaments will often motivate first-time supporters. Enhancing social stature or reputation is another powerful social benefit. Although most people think of big things like naming rights on a new facility or endowment, this idea can also work for first asks. Enhance social stature in a first ask by showcasing donors on a website or in an event program. For the first ask, there's also a fourth element, a low hurdle. A low hurdle is a low monetary ask that is easily transacted. This is important because the decision to give is separate from the decision of how much to give. The lower the ask, the easier it can be for people to quickly make the decision to give. With digital tools, the cost of making the ask and processing the donation keeps dropping. This makes it easier to keep pushing the initial hurdle lower and lower. Once people jump the hurdle and decide to give, you can then ask them to give more, and they often will. Take a look at this email solicitation. This email perfectly brings together a number of elements that define a good first ask. For starters, note that this organization is only asking for $5. That's a very low hurdle. Also, take a look at how they speak to impact. You learn exactly what the money is being used for. It's training people today. That's important because it's clearly doing something right now. But we also learn that it's not just about impact today, but also impact tomorrow. Because the organizer that you helped train now will then go out into the world later. There's impact today and tomorrow. And they use terms like investment and force multiplier. They're making it clear that the $5 is worth more. They manage to do all of this in less than 100 words, and by asking quickly, they make the decision to give even easier. The American Heart Association created the Go Red for Women campaign with multiple objectives: to provide women with information about the gender-specific cardiovascular risks, but with this campaign also sought to create a community of advocates and givers. Although it's more than just a first ask campaign, it also does an excellent job in satisfying the desire for social benefits. You should use Go Red as an example when you craft your campaigns. Their red dress perfectly demonstrates the idea of self-identification. By wearing the red dress, someone can show everyone and remind themselves that they are part of the cause. Their Go Red events tap into the power of social connectedness by giving supporters a chance to come together in a social setting. Becoming a corporate sponsor offers a social passport into a powerful collection of influencers. And every year, selected Go Red women are featured in campaign communications and activities. This provides avenues for women to build their stature and reputation. Creating a first ask that will get a large number of prospects to become supporters lies in appealing to the primary reasons why people give. Those reasons are the wish to be altruistic, the need to feel that their contribution will make an impact, and the desire to get some type of social benefit for themselves. Not every first ask needs to contain all of these elements. Some donors will be motivated to give when you appeal strongly to a single desire. But bringing together a collection of appeals will result in first asks that turn more donor prospects into first-time and then lifelong supporters. Remember that a first ask must have a low hurdle. It should involve a low donation amount and make giving that donation as simple as possible. You probably get a lot of direct mail and email asks from both nonprofits and political campaigns. Don't just throw them in the recycling bin. Look for and save the ones you think do a good job appealing to altruism, impact, and social benefit. When you sit and create your next first ask, these will be a great source of inspiration.